Nice to have a 4-wheel drive or something, but
I thought about that too, just sort of getting rid of the cruiser and getting a 4-wheel drive, but we'll see how that goes.
Maybe we'll have a mild winter. That would be nice too.
Certainly a lot cheaper.
Could go directly from fall back into spring because I like summer fashions.
Yeah.
I don't like having to
bundle up wear too many layers.
And the shoes. I don't know. Okay, I know that's silly. But anyway, so enough with sports cars. Men, we will probably never stop talking about. I'm certainly never going to stop talking about men. They make me crazy, but they make me totally nuts. You know what? Men make me totally nuts, but I can't live without them. It's not fair. You know, it really isn't. It's sort of, it was like God playing a joke on us, you know. I'm going to make these things totally insane.
You can't keep them in the house, but you can't live without them either. Ha ha!
Yes, it's not fair. But there is humor in it, at least. God. Oh, but I do love them. They're warm and cuddly. And anyway, so you just got to find one that's not married or doesn't have a girlfriend.
Right.
God,
oh my gosh.
That drives me crazy. I don't know why it is. Okay, here I'm griping. I'm griping about men. I'm sorry. I apologize. I recently had a guy that was pursuing me that wanted to go out with me, who seemed like a very nice guy. And it turned out that he had a girlfriend. And I asked him, so what's the deal here? Is this like, you have a girlfriend. Is this an exclusive relationship? Is this a relationship that's ending? What's going on here? And he said, oh yeah, it's an exclusive relationship, but I'm not married. And he still wanted to go out with me. And it's like, what are you, crazy? It's like, right. I don't want to be the person that helps you cheat on your girlfriend. I have more self-respect than that. I'm not going to be the other woman. I'm not going to be your sex toy on the side.
Right.
And the thing that was really bizarre about that was that he didn't see a problem with this at all. It's like you have a committed relationship with somebody that you say is committed. You're saying that your relationship to this woman is a committed relationship, and yet you're pursuing me. What does that say about your relationship with her?
Well, I mean, is he polyamorous? But if he is, then he has the responsibility to tell his girlfriend and be on the level about that. I have nothing against it. I've never been in a relationship with someone who's polyamorous, but I mean, it's on the table. But I need to know, right?
You're right. Yeah, and certainly that's not what this was. This was I want to play with you on the side, not tell my girlfriend. She's going to still be my girlfriend. You'll just be this thing on the side that I play with when I'm horny, right?
Right.
It's like,
nor will I be a dirty little secret.
Yeah,
or if you're not willing to tell your family and friends who you're dating.
That's right, and that was one of my big issues with Dan. He told me all these stories about how I was, how his going out with me was having such an effect on his family. His family never even knew. It was all just nonsense. He was so lying to me about that.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, I kept saying that to him. I'm not going to be your dirty little secret. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, gotta wake up. I don't know. He did. I think the problem was that he just never listened to what I was saying.
Oh.
It was just sort of like one of those, those la 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 things. We won't hear what you're saying. Anyway, I'm sorry. He's gone. So I've moved on. And I feel good about that. I have had my heart broken many, many times in my life. But I will go right back and do it again. I promised myself a long, long time ago that I would not harden my heart, and I never have. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I will go right back out there and fall in love again. And sooner or later, I'll find the man of my dreams. I'm confident of that. But I am not going to harden my heart, no matter what, even if it hurts. But yeah, you got to be willing to take us home to meet your mother, guys, you know, and if you're not, then don't even bother asking me out, because I'm a real person. Anyway, okay. Callie's dating show. I'm sorry. One thing I did want to talk about just real quick, I just wanted to mention that we have talked about the same-sex marriage thing a lot.
Right.
And on this show. And of course, we all know that Proposition 8 passed in California. But guess what? That is being challenged. The California Supreme Court is going to hear the case, which basically poses a couple of questions about Proposition 8. That being whether a voter-adopted state constitutional ban on gay marriage is valid, and also if it is deemed that it's valid, what happens to those people that are already married and have been married in California in that short time that it was legal to be married in California. So
Right.
that's apparently going to go before the California Supreme Court, which
Right.
is
Well, you
cool.
can't create a subclass of citizen. I
Yeah.
mean, it's ridiculous, and it smacks of the same separate but equal rhetoric that has so sickened us in the past,
Yes.
and rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, I know. It's nuts. It's like, you know, and it's just, it boggles the mind. It really does. It's mind-boggling that the people of California passed that.
right. That's
of
pretty
all,
progressive state.
Of all places on the face of the earth, it just blows me away that California voted for Proposition 8. It's like, what happened? You know, I mean, that was always the land of diversity.
Right.
And it's like, wow, they've taken a step backwards.
I just don't get that. Maybe it'll serve as an example as they challenge this law. I mean, in the Supreme Court, 'cause the Supreme Court can throw out law, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Certainly, we'll have to keep a real close watch on this. And I am so proud of our own state of Connecticut, for the way our election went. you
Right.
know, and the fact that we now are one of the few places in this country where same-sex marriages can occur legally. And in fact, Father Russ has been talking about performing them.
That would be so awesome.
And yeah, he's been looking into whether or not he can do it, not whether or not he can perform same-sex marriages, but whether or not he can perform marriages. I believe he can. I think there's a sort of a condition that you have to be an actively practicing minister, and which he is.
Right.
But so he just has to make sure that he can actually do this legally, and he's going to do that, perform, or so he says. Forgive me if I'm wrong about this, Father, but if I'm not mistaken, you're going to perform same-sex marriages. Certainly, regular old, plain old, boy-girl, man-woman, boy-girl, man-woman marriages, too. If I have already asked Father if, assuming that I find a man that's willing to marry me, if he would perform the ceremony. I would really like to have Father Russ perform that ceremony, and I'm hopeful that he will be able to do that, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
Not that I could, not that there, and I am certainly, I'm bisexual, so there is always the possibility I'll meet the perfect woman.
Right.
And then I would be in the same-sex marriage situation.
And that's not an uncommon choice. I mean, it's not an uncommon choice for transsexuals to fall in love with other transsexuals. I mean, and there's a big aspect of that, I think, consisting of comfort. You know, who's more likely to treat us as people?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I have certainly met a lot of women that I would, have no problem falling in love with. But But I suppose